Okay, I'm recording now. So we're gonna, Sarah and I will kind of alternately provide some topics, and I'm gonna focus tonight more or less on portion control. Whether you use these or not, that's okay. We're gonna kind of dive, I'm gonna give you a little bit of an overview and the why behind it. And I think the why is more important because I remember when I got these in the mail 6 years ago, I was like, there's no way. Yeah, my daughter's next to me. There's no way I could, like, this is gonna fill me until I understood and I put it on my plate and it was enough. But it scared me. So I don't know. I know, Michelle, you've used Portion Fix. I don't know if Marissa, if you've used it or not. But it's a great program. If you don't use it, that's totally okay too. But I want to just talk a little bit about the overall premise behind it, which is portion control and then macronutrients. And for me, when I understand the why behind it, it helps fuel my behavior changes. And because really what we're focusing on is our health. It's not really always about weight loss because this is lifelong, just healthy things to do. Like for me lately, being in my 40s, I've known and I'm seeing it is that our muscle mass decreases. And when our muscle mass decreases, our metabolism decreases. So I know that I need to lift more to keep my muscle mass up, keep my metabolism going. So there's just things that we need to know to maintain, to just keep our health going. So this is the nutrition, obviously, is a big piece of it. And then also understanding it can empower you to do what you need to do to take care of your body the best way you can. And make this for the long haul, not like a diet or anything like that. This is about moderation in all areas. Sometimes we might, like tomorrow we're having a birthday party for a bunch of us in my family. We're just kind of lumping it in together. So yes, I'm gonna have a piece of cake. I don't think it's a big deal. It's not gonna derail me. But we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And it doesn't have to be complicated. And for part of it, and so when I'm talking about this, it's really just about 3 principles. And I'm gonna talk about 2 of them today. Portion control, because you can overeat unhealthy foods too. You might be like, I keep eating salads, but I'm not noticing the difference. Well, when you break down what's in the salad, I mean, as you know, if you go to a restaurant, sometimes the salad's worse than ordering a hamburger. As far as the caloric content, obviously the content of it is healthier, but when we're talking about calories, it's, we really have to watch that. Portion control is really important. And then balanced with that, the macros, which I know we all know about macronutrients, but I want to explain a little bit behind that. Oh, we've got 2 more joining us. Awesome. So, and then the third thing is, has to do with sort of like emotional eating, and I'll talk about that on a different week because I feel like this is a different topic altogether. So I want to focus on portion control and balanced macros. So number 1, the portion control piece of it. So we have these containers, like I talked about, and this helps us with our portion control and our macros, which is pretty awesome because they have, it wasn't something that was just thrown together. Like, let's just do this. It looks good. There was a lot of scientific research put behind exactly what goes in the containers, how much, based on your height and weight, gender, all of those, activity level, all of those things. So that, I love that because I can just put my trust in, okay, this is what I need to put in this container, pour it on my plate, good to go. And for me, I'm one of those people that I eat similarly every day, so I don't have to think, okay, well, I did this container and this container. I kind of understand, like, generally the containers I like to eat. But anyway, we'll go into that a little bit later. So portion control is not meant to be like where you're starving. Again, this is not about necessarily about weight loss. It's about just like fueling your body every few hours. And when we eat too much or too fast, we're not allowing our bodies to
Thank you.
Not allowing our bodies to like register that we're satisfied. And I'm super guilty of that. I tend to be a really quick eater, and I still am. So when I know what I should be eating as far as my portions go, I just settle into that and know I don't need to go get hustle and eat this and get seconds. I'm just going to eat this. And then I know that generally I'm going to feel pretty good after that. And if I'm still hungry, really hungry, I really don't think you can overdo a green container, which is vegetables. I feel very confident you can pretty much, you can eat a lot of greens and it's not going to affect your diet. It's the other stuff we put on it, like the salad dressings and all the other things that sometimes can be overdone. And the other thing is the portion control is important because we can stretch our stomach out. And although our stomachs can contract back in, after you have babies, they're not always the same, right? You had babies, like for me, I've had 4, my stomach does not settle the same in. Like I work out with my kids sometimes and my son, who's getting these like 6-pack abs, like so quick. First of all, he's 10, so whatever. And I don't get them nearly as fast. And he's like, why don't you get them? I've had 4 growing children in my stomach. And so I don't know that it's going to be fully possible for me to have ripped abs. And I'm okay with that because that's just the way my body is, and that's cool. But that's the same with eating. When we overeat, like Thanksgiving meal, our stomachs stretch out. It feels horrible. And it will contract, but it won't be as elastic as it used to be. Kind of like when we have babies, like I said. The other thing is that I found really interesting when understanding like portion control and macronutrients is that our bodies can only use so much of one nutrient. So overdoing one nutrient, like having too much meat, like proteins, even if it's a lean protein, our body can't process it if we have too much of it. And so it helps us, our bodies can only process a certain amount of each nutrient. So which I thought that was really interesting that I didn't really understand, which is part of the reason why when we eat, we should eat from multiple food groups at every meal, or containers. If you do the container system, eat 2 or 3 containers at every meal. Don't just eat, I'm going to eat all my fruits at breakfast. I'm going to eat all my greens at lunch. Stretch it out, split it up, that kind of thing. And so that's important to know that. Let's see here. The other thing with portion control is that it can make your digestion a lot easier. When we're putting so much stress on our body, if we're overeating even the healthy foods, we're, obviously not going to digest as easily and metabolism slows down a little bit. Sorry, my little one was saying something, I don't know. And then it also can help with energy. When you're fueling your body every 2 to 3 hours, you're optimizing your energy level. Can you go see what they're doing, Kenny? Because what happens is when you have the right amount of food, your metabolism elevates for about 2 to 3 hours. And then it slowly starts to decline, not in a dangerous level by any means, but to optimize our metabolism, eating a small amount of food every 2 to 3 hours can kind of keep that metabolism up. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that do intermittent fasting, and there's a lot of other different food theories out there. So I understand that. But recognize that there is a little bit of a slowdown of your metabolism if you don't keep your body fueled throughout the day, especially if you're active and you're working out and maybe you're on your feet a lot during the day. You want to keep your energy level up. And also, that's kind of like I don't know if you guys have the 2 p.m. like, oh my gosh, I need something right now kind of thing. It's that sugar crash. That's when you need to have, a little maybe veggies and hummus or something that's going to keep the energy level up so that you're not going to have that crash where you're like, I need to go get a latte at Starbucks or one of those things. Ava loves Starbucks, unfortunately, but we have to do a little portion control on that one too. She likes her lemonades, but anyway, so I know it's not groundbreaking, but I think it's really important to understand fully and get reminded of, even sometimes, like the why behind that, keeping our metabolism going, our energy level up, and it balances your meal out, especially if you do portion fix. The containers are not expensive to buy. If you don't have them, I can't find my green one, but the green one is the same size as the purple, just as an FYI. So they're really good. I think they're like $14. And so it's just a really good program that's backed with a lot of scientific, calculations and all that good stuff that I don't want to do. They do it for you. All right, the second piece I want to talk about is balanced macronutrients, which you guys all probably already know this: healthy fats, lean proteins, healthy carbs. The healthy carbs takes up 40% and the other two are 30% each. And so like I said before, you want to combine them at each meal so that you're having some level of balanced macronutrients at each meal. And then if you're doing snacks too, kind of the same thing. It's not going to necessarily be a perfect balance of all of the things, but a little bit of each, it's really important to maximize your nutrients at each meal. So if you have the portion fix, I'm just going to kind of quickly go over it. If you have it or don't have it, it's a reminder or it's new information. The green container is veggies. I really don't believe you can overdo on veggies, but when you do the calculation, it's going to tell you exactly how many you get per day. I think I get 3 per day, but honestly, I'm going to be honest, I don't measure my greens because I feel like I can eat any amount of greens. I don't feel like it's going to hurt. And the greens are definitely important for the fiber to keep to keep your food moving, okay? And if you're eating vegetables throughout the day, you don't want to just eat it at lunch, have a salad at lunch and I got all my greens out of the way. You want to be eating it multiple times per day, because if you're not moving food through, you're going to have a problem. You're not going to lose weight. You're not going to keep your metabolism going. You want to be able to keep that, keep things moving. You know what I mean? So it's obviously important for essential vitamins and minerals. And it's just, veggies are the important thing, one of the most important things you can eat. Purple containers for fruits. Don't be afraid of fruit. I know there's a lot of diets out there that say don't eat sugars. Fruits are not one of those things that you should be afraid of. Yes, you can overdo it on fruits, but fruits are really good for you because there's phytonutrients and antioxidants that protect cells from free radicals. So that's really important. There's also some good fiber in many fruits too that kind of keep your body moving. So I often eat an apple in the afternoon. That seems to really kind of fill me up, and it's just a good little pick me up in the afternoon. You can pair it with nut butter or whatever. It's just an easy, quick thing when I'm feeling like my energy dive a little bit. An apple with some nut butter is a good kind of combination to do, or something along those lines. Sometimes I'll do a banana with nut butter. Yum, super good too. So don't be afraid of those fruits as well. Red protein. The red containers for proteins like chicken, eggs, things like that. And obviously it helps build and repair muscle. So especially if you're lifting or working out, at any kind of workout in general, those reds are super important. Don't skim on it. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, there are other options for you to make sure you get those proteins in, but you don't want to skim on the proteins. And I think sometimes people who are vegans or vegetarians, not all, I'm not trying to generalize, but if they're not well-versed in understanding the importance of proteins, they may not be getting their proteins in. Got to make sure that, you're getting those proteins because they're not as obvious as it is for those of us who are meat eaters. Obviously, protein is super simple for us. Most of us eat protein every day, even if we're not in a health journey. And then the yellow is healthy carbs. Again, carbs are good for us. It is okay to have carbs, not too much. This doesn't look like a lot, but when, let's say we have brown rice, I can fill this up. I think I get 2 yellows a day. It fills up my plate. Or I can use it for a glass of wine. So oftentimes it does get, good job, Michelle. So, and that's the other thing too, is that, or we could have it for a cookie. I'm not going to have a cookie tonight. It's not, but tomorrow I'm going to have a piece of cake and I'm cool with that. So it's kind of like balance, kind of give and take a little bit there. The blue container, the healthy fats, that's good for your brain and your nervous system. The yellows are also good for your brain. So if you've ever done like a low carb diet, if you've done it for a longer period of time, you may have noticed that you're forgetful a little bit more, or you feel like you're slow moving. It's because carbs do fuel your brain. So carbs are important for you. As much as some people might say, no, I'm going to do keto, and I did keto before, I'm not, and it does work, but it does affect your brain. The carbs, you really do need healthy carbs in your diet. And then the blue container, again, that's also good for your brain, healthy fats, the nervous system, your skin, especially as we get older. It's good for that elasticity. The orange, this little teeny container, and dressings. I use it for dressings pretty much every day because, you know, I can't have a salad without dressing. That's just me. The teaspoon, nut butters and oils, things like that. Another healthy fat. So there's 3 different sources of healthy fats. So it's really important. If you don't use the container system, that's totally fine. But balancing out those macronutrients are going to maximize your progress and success. The meal plans that I put in the Summer Strong group are all based on a macronutrient diet based on the 21, the Ultimate Portion Fix. So if you are using those meal plans, I'll be posting them every week. This past week I did it a little late. I'm really sorry. I got busy over the weekend and I forgot. But my plan is to do it every Friday, just so you have some resources. Even if you don't use it completely, you might be like, okay, this is kind of what a day should look like. Or maybe I'll take this meal and I'll try this new breakfast. Maybe you need to shake it up a little bit and try some new things, and just to kind of keep things going. So that's what I have for you tonight. I wanted to keep it simple, quick. The next time I go on, I will talk about emotional eating, and kind of sugar addictions, those kind of things. Sarah has some other things she'll probably talk about in her next one as well. So we'll kind of cover the rainbow of different things, but we want to make sure you guys are fully equipped with anything. And as you know, you guys can ask us questions anytime. We're certainly not experts, but we have been doing this a long time, and have been following the experts that have provided all the things for us, which is great. They give us all the great tools that we need to be successful. And so that's what I got for you. You guys have any questions for me? Those of you that are on, or Sarah, I guess.
Thank you. That was good stuff. Those are always good reminders.
Yeah, I just wanted to set the groundwork for sort of the why behind this, and then we'll dive into some cool different topics, I think, with like emotional eating and like mindset stuff, and you know, how to get through difficult moments, those kind of things. That'll be good for us moving forward through the summer. So, all right, ladies. Well, thanks for hopping on. Like I said, I recorded this. I will be posting it it'll be in Sarah's group, and then the Summer Strong group that Sarah and I are both running. And thanks for hopping on with us.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you. See you guys.
Thank you. We'll see ya.
Bye, guys.